Hey guys, so in today's video, I wanted to talk to you about how I overcame the fact that I didn't have any experience as far as work experience as a medical assistant in order to get hired at the hospital in my current role as a call in, or some places call it per diem, medical assistant within our community clinics system. So when I say I have no experience, I mean in clinic setting. I do have experience working from home as a medical assistant. However, you guys know that in that role, was doing chronic care management and remote patient monitoring. And so when I went to my interview for this medical assistant position, I let them know that I have not actually like worked in a clinic setting. And I was very upfront and honest with them about like the fact that I have been certified since 2021, but haven't actually like done any in-person work as a medical assistant. And so I think that my number one tip would be to be upfront and honest. Like, I've had people in different Facebook groups and whatnot tell me that I should just lie and say that I have the experience in order to get a position. I do know people that have done that, but I personally would not feel right lying about it. Not to mention that if they find out that you lied about it, they could very easily fire you, especially if you live in an at-will state. Like, you could be fired or let go for anything. It doesn't even have to be like a valid reason, really, because your employment is at will, and that's for yourself as well as your employer. So not only did I make sure that I was honest with them about the fact that I didn't have experience in the workplace as a medical assistant, but I also emphasized the fact that I am constantly learning new things and that I am a quick learner. I love to learn. I pick up on things really quickly. And she did ask like about the fact that I am working on my bachelor's degree. She kind of asked me like what my plans were with that, what I wanted to do with that, asked me about neuroscience, which I thought was really cool. And so I was very honest with them about stuff like that. I also talked about the previous healthcare experience that I had, because if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I have been working as a CNA since 2016. So I do have healthcare experience, just not in the medical assistant role. So when she was asking me different interview questions about like healthcare related things, I related my CNA experience to how I would sort of handle different situations within the clinic setting. Obviously, I know it's a huge difference between like working as a CNA. The job tasks are different and the responsibilities are different. I mean, there is a lot of overlap that you would do between CNA and medical assistant, but medical assistant, there's a lot, like a huge wider array of things that you might be responsible for that a CNA would not encounter on a daily basis. However, I kind of made the fact that I am really big into making people feel better and doing little things to make people smile. I kind of made those traits about myself shine in my interview. And I think that ultimately a lot of the fact that I said that I'm always looking to learn new things, that I'm a quick learner, stuff like that, I think is part of the reason why they offered me the position. But also just like the fact that I go above and beyond and go out of my way to try to remember even just little tiny things about people so that I can brighten their day, even if it's just in some quote unquote minuscule type of way, like telling them a joke or asking them how their dog is doing, like things like that. I tend to try to remember about people just because I feel like it makes a difference in someone's day when you remember things that people really don't think that you would remember, especially if it's like in a work setting type of thing. So I think the biggest thing is like The job that I was actually interviewing for was a full-time medical assistant job. And as I just mentioned in the beginning of this video, what I was offered was a call-in position, or per diem, some places call it, where it's not full-time, but you're basically covering. I am not going to be working with just one provider or just one clinic location, because we are a critical access hospital and we have rural clinics. There are 3 separate clinic locations, actually 4. 4? Is it 4 or 3? 4. There's 4 clinic locations, and then we also have a specialty clinic inside of the hospital, as well as a walk-in clinic, which is kind of like urgent care. So I will be trained in all of those locations and providers' offices, as well as within our central scheduling department, to cover for them. So basically, it's kind of like a float position where I basically go where they need me to go and cover where they need coverage, if that makes sense. So it's not what I originally interviewed for, and it's not exactly what I was hoping for, but it does give me experience, and I feel like that's partially why they offered me this position that they did, is because they want me to get more experience, so then when another full-time opening becomes available in the future, then they can say, hey, she's been working really good, I'm hoping to make a good impression, so that they can say in the future when another position becomes available that, I would be someone who would be good for that position. So I think that another one of my tips, if you have no work experience as a medical assistant and this is your first position that you're interviewing for, I think go into it with confidence, make sure that they know that you're willing to learn. Emphasize your strengths, whether it's something like I said about like trying to find little things to brighten people's day, even if it's just telling them a joke or, whatever the case may be. Because they did really like that I said that, like going out of my way to remember things about people to brighten their day in some way. Emphasize your strengths, whatever they may be. So those are my tips. I hope this was helpful. If you guys would like more information on medical assisting or my experience as a medical assistant, or like anything, obviously I will be able to share more. I do my new hire orientation on Wednesday. Today is Sunday, so I will be starting soon and getting back into like the healthcare field. So anyways, that's all I have for today. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, topics you'd like to hear me discuss on my channel in the future, please be sure to let me know. I'd be glad to get something filmed for you. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys next time.